Hey my friend, welcome back to a new video. Today I have a special message for you which says that you're worthy of happiness, not because something good may happen to you, but because you choose to feel it. Choose happiness today. Find reasons to smile. Find reasons to be grateful for. And this doesn't mean that you should ignore the negative emotions. It means that you can decide to amplify your life so you can experience more happiness, to balance your life so you can embody more happiness, to find out what's pulling you down, to identify it so you can change it for something better. Choosing happiness doesn't mean that you ignore the negative emotions or you ignore anything bad, like what we call bad, sadness, anger, frustration, anxiety, whatever. It just means that we choose. Today I'm choosing to amplify my life. Today I will pay attention to what brings me happiness, what excites me, what helps me to heal, right? And this is beautiful. Find reasons to smile, my friend. Because it doesn't matter how hard your life is right now. There's always something that can help you to overcome that, to heal what you're dealing with. Don't just stay stuck. The ego always wants more, but to be satisfied with the present life, you need to choose how you feel about it. That's what it means to be honest with ourselves. We need to choose, right, how we feel about our present situation. We may say, well, I'm frustrated, everything is going wrong. And it may be true. But at the moment we decide, well, I will learn what this reflection in my present situation is teaching me about myself. What am I holding on to? What am I ignoring? What are those limiting beliefs that are causing this situation? What are the traumas that I haven't been able to recognize or identify from my past that are still causing me to be in those disturbing emotional sensations every time this situation repeats? That's what it means that you choose how you will feel about it. Choose from your heart. See the blessings in this current experience. Whatever life you want to live, you're building it on the foundation of today. Make sure that the fundamental pillar of your future is happiness, not chasing. What it means? Well, if we don't make sure that right at this moment we will take care of our lives, even if you say, well, I'm feeling bad right now, accept this situation and feel bad. It's nothing wrong with feeling bad. Also, being vulnerable, it's a superpower because you stop running away from yourself. You see, the reason that we are chasing things is because we are avoiding what is blocking us, what is bothering us. And once we pay more attention to what's bothering us, we recognize we don't need to chase anything. We would rather create it. Like, if I want to experience more abundance in my life, is what I'm doing making that, I don't know, financial abundance? If not, let's see what can I change. Let's see if I could give more. Let's see if I could learn more so I can provide more. Let's see if I could develop my skills a little bit more. Maybe I could learn something new about online marketing or whatever. It may take me a few years, but, well, I need to start somewhere, right? It's all a choice. But you see, when you amplify your state of being at this present moment with acceptance, an ability to see what else life has to offer in your mind's eye, will help you to see the ways, to see the open doors, to see opportunities and potentials. So how can we do that? Well, we firstly need to accept where we are. right? Often we are not accepting because we are so deeply poisoned by how we should be. Looking on social media, right? Looking around us, how we should be. Like, you should smile all the time, you should be excited all the time, motivated all the time. No, you should be yourself. And yourself is, it's all those different emotional experiences. That's how you're sensing life, right? Life is happening through you. It's not what's around you, it's happening through you. And if you experience it through all different emotions, well, let's experience this for this moment. Let's accept that. The beauty and really interesting thing about our emotions is that when we gently pay attention to a negative emotion, it dissolves. But when we pay attention to a positive emotion, it expands. Have you noticed that? Let's say that you feel sadness about something happened and you feel sad. And more you pay attention to in which area of your body you feel this sadness right now. You identify it, you recognize it, and you pay more attention to it without judging it, just being aware of it. Soon you will realize that it will release, and at some point you may experience peace. But then something happens, and for example you experience gratitude, and you pay more attention to this sensation of gratitude, and it expands and you feel more of it. And suddenly you see more things to be grateful for. That's the beauty of our emotions. Because life always supports us to go into the positive direction. Because positive is upward spiral. Higher we go on that vibrational spectrum, higher the emotional experience. We go from peace to happiness to blissfulness to fulfillment, right? And when you find yourself in lower emotional sensations, it's just a reminder, well, let's see what's going on right now. Let's see what can we learn from that. Let's see what kind of limiting beliefs are still blocking our life's experiences so we can't experience a life of fulfillment. Let's identify those limiting beliefs. If you have them, it's nothing wrong with them, and it's nothing wrong with you, and it's not your fault that you have them. Those are programs that have been imprinted into you when you were growing up from your parents, your caregivers, and they didn't put them into you intentionally. They were living in those programs as well. So it's nothing wrong with you if you feel limited right now. It's nothing wrong with you if you constantly think negatively about life. It's just the program you have deep inside your subconscious mind. But it is your responsibility to take care of it. And in order to take care of it, you firstly need to identify it. You need to recognize, okay, this is what I'm constantly saying to myself, so I feel that way. Right? So when you feel certain emotion that's often present, like every single day you start a day and you feel that, you need to ask yourself what story you are repeating to yourself that's a part of your identity. And see if that story could be changed. Like if you may say to yourself, like, I can't succeed at anything. Like anything I start, I can't succeed at that. Because maybe you've started some things and it didn't work. But you may recognize that it didn't work because you were not consistent enough, but you were not consistent enough at doing that because you, at the first place, didn't believe that it's possible. And you didn't believe because you were listening your whole childhood that life is so hard that you can't experience abundance because it's only for those bad people. Money is only for those who are there, but not for us. Right? Often we hear the stories, and it's not your fault that you believe that. But soon, at some point, you will need to identify it. So I want to share something that I've learned in my life. And in the past, I had those beliefs that life is hard and that lucky things are happening only to certain individuals who are smarter, who have been raised by smart parents, educated parents, and only those people are, the lucky ones. But then I've started reading books like Think and Grow Rich was a really big changer for me, big change for me, by Napoleon Hill. And I've started to see that, well, it's not so much where we've been growing up, how we've been raised, even though it has a huge influence on us. But in the background, there's a purpose. We went through those experiences because they shaped us, they've created us. But as long as we are looking to break the programs, the past that we've been through will help us to create and find something completely new, something that nobody else has found out. We'll be able to develop a new concept. We'll be able to create a new understanding. And then that brings a new contrast to life. That brings a new wisdom to society. To somebody who's maybe dealing with something similar that you've been through. And as I found that out, I've recognized, well, maybe it is truly a blessing that I've been through what I've been through. And just this fact that at some point I've decided that I will learn, I will grow, I will educate myself to see what more I need to know about myself so I can overgrow those limiting beliefs, right? So I can replace them by a greater understanding of life. What it means? Well, when you have a certain negative belief about yourself, like you may say, you're unworthy of a greater life because people are constantly pulling you down, and that's for you a fact that there's something wrong with you. You may think there's something wrong with you because people around you are constantly pulling you down. But they are pulling you down because they're so hurt that that's how they see themselves. So when they're observing somebody who's doing more than they are doing, or who's doing something differently than they are doing, they attack them because that's what they want to do, but they are too scared, too afraid. They're in such a deep pain that they just don't want to do it. They can't see a possibility to do it. That's why they attack you. Don't allow them to rob you from your energy. If you have a belief that you are incapable of doing that because you've been exposed to those kind of people, you need to identify it. And you need to get to a realization that they were projecting their fears and insecurities and angers and frustrations onto you. It's not you that is broken because of that. But you need to find a new way, a new story that you will say to yourself that will change that limiting belief. You need to find a new sentence that you will use as a replacement of that old sentence you're saying to yourself. Like when you say, I'm really not capable of changing this habit that is toxic for me. Say to yourself, I love changing habits. And feel that sentence. It's not enough just saying some affirmations. You need to feel those words. How would you feel if you would truly love changing those habits? How would it feel if you would love changing those habits? How would you feel? Or let's say this one with finances. I only have enough to survive. I always receive just enough to survive. And this one is so common. I always receive just enough to survive. And then we read a book from somebody who came from poverty and created a life of abundance, and we may start questioning what that person changed. And we may notice, well, that person had same or even worse limiting beliefs about himself, herself. That person changed his or her identity because he or she just didn't want to stay there anymore. So something needed to awaken in that person that inspired him or her to break the pattern, right? And as we are studying other people, we may recognize what was that thing that inspired them. And usually it was something that was not about them. It was about what they want to give or what kind of example they want to be. You see, many entrepreneurs later became teachers because they recognized that the whole journey of entrepreneurship was a path of a student. They've learned so much about life that it was not about money anymore, not about what they are getting, but how much they are growing. And as we're growing, we noticed that many people don't have the knowledge that we've gained, so we suddenly experience a need to teach, right? So usually a drive for people is not just to become abundant, but to find a way so we can show others that there is a way, right? And this one is so huge. Once you get driven by finding a way so we can show others that there is a way, you will recognize that it's not about money at all, it's not about abundance at all. It's about paving the way for those who can't see it, right? And that was to me the biggest realization, because I've noticed, well, there's many artists out there who are struggling. There's many people who are coming from traumatic experiences, that are coming from poverty, that are coming from abuses and been projected with insecurities, or many people are coming from families that have been really emotionless, closed down, closed-hearted. And those people maybe don't see a way out of their present state, but there is a way out. And maybe I can be the one that will pave the way so they can see that it's possible. Right? Sometimes we are just being an example, and that's enough. And that is something inspiring in the eyes of others. So you need to recognize what story can amplify you in this present situation and make it your mantra. Because you will fall in lower states. I fall as well. We all do. You will fall in lower states, lower emotions. And you will feel again those old limitations, those old stories, those old beliefs will come up. But as long as you know why you're doing that, what's that replacement for that old story, you will be able to raise yourself out of that stuckness. And only acceptance can help you to do that. Because if you don't accept where you are, you will be blaming yourself. You will feel sorry for yourself, you will fall into misery. And acceptance will allow you to move through it. You will say, well, okay, yeah, I'm not okay right now. I don't feel good about life right now. But I will see where this is leading me. Because I've noticed every time I'm feeling down, I recognize that at some point something pulled me out of balance. Sometimes I'm painting too much. and I recognize when I also need to take care of business and things that are a bit like not so fun to me. And sometimes I focus just on YouTube and I stop painting. And that's where I lose inspiration for my work. So that lower state reminds me, hey, you went out of balance. So I found what's a balanced state for me. But I want to remind you that you also need to find out for yourself what is a balanced state for you, because only when you are in balance you will experience harmony, and harmony will give you that blissful love for life sensation. So find what puts you in balance. Work and play, right? If you're often sad, reflect on that. Reflect, what can you learn from the sensations? Study people who are where you want to be. We have so many beautiful examples. We just need to learn from them. But often, because of our busy lives, we just don't have time for that. And that's where we need to decide to take time for that. We need to ask ourselves, what's really important for me, my health or my money? My health or my time? My health or my job? What's more important? And that is a deep reflection. But never put yourself aside for something else. This is it for today, my friends. I hope you found something valuable. I love you all. I'm sending you all lots of love, blessings, and power. Have a beautiful day. Till next time, one love.